Paquimé. Paquimé was a town of several thousand people located in Casas Grandes, Chihuahua, Mexico, and founded roughly around 700 AD by the people of the Magallanes culture as a social, trading, and political center. Around 1340 AD, it was burned and rebuilt again. In the 15th century, it was abandoned due to possible warfare. Since then, the roofs have collapsed, leaving only the walls. Paquimé made beautiful brown potware with amazing designs. The pottery was made as funerary urns for high-ranking people of the community. Representations of Quetzalcoatl, the feather serpent god, can be found in many of these vessels, which further proves its connection with Mesoamerican culture. Paquimé also made clay human figures which showed face markings and could prove that they practiced face tattooing. Paquimé handicrafts like bead pendants, shell bracelets, bead bracelets were found at Paquimé, and also thousands of shells were found, which were used by the people at Paquimé and also made for trading with outsiders. Breathing stations were found in Paquimé, and somehow the Paquimé managed to breathe and raise macaws in spite of environmental changes. These animals were brought from the south to the north. The Paquimé raised three types of birds: scarlet macaws, soldier macaws, and turkeys. Macaws were highly valued for ceremony, used for trading, and their feathers were used for their cultural clothing attire. Some also have suggested that they were used for sacrifice. Evidence of fire is found under the beds of its occupants to keep the people warm at night. The people of Paquimé had pretty much the same diet as the people of the Magallanes culture. The Paquimé hunted for buffaloes, antelopes, deers, and consumed corn, squash, beans, acorns, and sunflower seeds. Strange T-shaped designs were found at Paquimé. These strange designs for doorways might have been a defensive mechanism to slow their enemies down, or might have been a religious significance like in Mayan culture represented life and the soul. Perhaps it was a passage for the souls to go through. One interesting fact about Paquimé is that one of the effigy mounds in Paquimé that represents a snake points north, where many of Southwest Native American tribes are located, like the Hopi Nation, who share many similarities with Paquimé. Paquimé also aligns almost perfectly to Chaco and Aztec with only an error of a few miles. Coincidence or a reach? Who knows? Paquimé were good traders that perhaps spoke many languages, or maybe used sign language to communicate with their customers. The Paquimé traded with many people of the Southwest, like the Hopi, maybe even their neighbors, the Anasazi or the Hohokam. But something we are for certain is that they traded with the Aztecs, Mexica people. Turquoise is found in Arizona, and somehow it made its way to the south. The Aztecs probably knew about Paquimé and took advantage and traded with Paquimé. Evidence proves Aztec Puchtecas made its way to Casas Grandes, where they traded exotic birds and marine shells. What did the Paquimé trade? They traded turquoise, copper, tobacco, cacao, smoking pipes, seashells. They might have also traded their handicrafts. Also, I forgot, they might have traded feathers. So what language did the Paquimé speak? It's very possible they might have spoken a Uto-Aztecan language, which made it easier to trade with tribes who spoke similar language like the Hopi. It's also possible the people responsible for trading knew more than one language. The disappearance of these people leave us confused and wondering what happened to these people. Well, probably the same thing that happened to the Magallanes people. Maybe it was drought, maybe it was scarcity, who knows. But they disappeared when the Spanish arrived to the Americas in the 1500s. There is a story about a Spanish explorer by the name of Francisco de Ibarra that had visited the unexplored city of Paquimé in 1562 and saw that it was populated by well-dressed people that lived in adobe houses, that worked in agriculture, and had irrigation canals with surplus food. In 1566, he returned to the region along with a group of other Spanish men and saw that it was completely abandoned. Ibarra and his expedition members saw a tribe called Suma natives had occupied the abandoned valley lands and asked the natives what happened to the city and the people who once ruled it. The natives told them the city was on war with the people to the west, who happened to be the Opata. Fun fact, in the 16th century, a Spaniard called the abandoned city Paquimé, which derives from the Opata language, meaning place of big houses. The descendants of the Paquimé are still alive today, survivors intermarry with the Raramuri natives and the Hopi natives who share similar language, similar beliefs, similar culture. They might have felt safer living with them. Perhaps the Paquimé had traded with the Hopi and the Raramuri in the past and felt comfortable joining their tribe. Some believe the Hopi might have been the Paquimé and had a culture change throughout the years. Genetic evidence shows that the Paquimé and the Mimbres people, or also known as the Magayon people, are all one people. Paquimé share genetic affinities with the people of the mountains, which suggests that the ancestors of the Paquimé were the Magayon people and had been ordered by the elites to organize and establish a commerce center in the south to better benefit them. Perhaps there was other reasons. Maybe their civilization was about to fail due to drought and scarcity. Maybe there was disagreement complications amongst the people. Perhaps they were drowned out by enemies, religious reasons, maybe even a mixture of all of them. Who knows? But what we do know is the Paquimé and the Magayon people are related.